Today, I shower in one of the most disgusting airport lounge showers I have ever seen, follow that up with a sit on a dirty chair, and go for the triple with a stained business class seat. Come join me as we fly Avianca Airlines for 11 hours from Buenos Aires through Colombia to Washington, D.C. Our journey today begins as we wait for a cab in downtown Buenos Aires, the capital city of Argentina. Getting a cab in Argentina seems to be easiest using their version of Uber, which is called Cabify. Buenos Aires has a couple of airports, and we'll call this one EZE so that you don't have to hear me butcher the lovely Spanish language. It's the bigger of the two, with the George Newbery Airport being smaller and on the other side of town. EZE sees around 11 million passengers per year and is the hub for Argentina's flag carrier, Aerolíneas Argentinas. So welcome in to the Buenos Aires International Airport. We are here for a flight back to the United States that for some reason I booked at 2 a.m. Now you might be asking, Seth, why did you take a 2 a.m. flight? And the answer is I don't know. Past me was not as smart as future me, and now future me is very mad.
Hello. Hello. You have to print the bag tag for the luggage there at the machine, okay?
Okay.
After waiting an hour or so for check-in to be open, we finally made it to the front of the line just to be told that we needed to first print out our bag tags at a kiosk. That was no problem though, as the kiosk was nearby and pretty easy to use. Bag tags in hand, we returned back to the line.
Thank you. Oh, great. Thank you.
Okay, finally made it through and on our way to security. Security at EZE was as picturesque as it was painful. After making it through security, it was time to consult the map and find a lounge. I do always appreciate how the lounges are labeled as VIP outside of the US. Sure, I'll be a VIP for the day. Why not? This time, we have access to the Star Alliance Lounge here in Buenos Aires on account of my business class ticket on a Star Alliance carrier. At first glance, the lounge actually looks pretty nice. It wasn't too busy and there was ample seating that was available. There was plenty of food available, both hot and cold options. And a fridge stocked full of drinks. But that's about where the good ends. Way too much of the lounge was dirty. Many of the chairs were contaminated with what I can only hope are sweat stains. And the included shower suite was, to be honest, just downright disgusting. There were hard water stains on the shower head, and worst of all, just straight up mold growing on the ceiling above the shower and down below around the sides. I'm not trying to be picky here, but is it too much to ask to have a shower that's free from mold? Let's get out of here. After a short walk from the lounge to our gate, we saw our majestic 787 Dreamliner waiting in the wings to take us to Bogota in Colombia. This particular plane was 7 years old at the time of this flight, with its first flight being in February 2017. Let's board this bird.
Hola.
¿Cómo está? Bienvenido. ¿Qué silla tiene?
2K. Gracias.
Viaje sin interrupciones. Son más de 200 destinos con internet ilimitado. Incluso hasta
Oh, yeah.
Hotel.com, el registro de destino y los días que necesitas estar conectado. Estás conectado con el flight y mantente conectado.
Hola.
Corresponde la ventana.
Hello and welcome aboard this Avianca 787-8 Dreamliner, 7 years old, getting ready to take us from Buenos Aires to Colombia. You can tell I'm a little bit slow because it's about 2 a.m. All right, let's have a look around the cabin and our seat, shall we? The cabin is arranged in a 1-2-1 configuration, and of course I had to go with the window seat, although this entire flight would be at night, so it probably didn't matter. The seat was pretty standard. similar to what you'll find on a lot of carriers' business class options. You had all of the standard buttons and ports at your seat, and you were also provided with a water bottle and bedding. Bro, how is the seat also stained? Let's get out of here as soon as possible. Okay, now that we are in the air, let's take a look at this uniquely non-stained amenity kit and just pray that the things inside are clean. We've got a pair of clean Avianca socks to go along with our Avianca branded eye mask. So far so good. Also available were some tissues, presumably there to help wipe away the stains, a toothbrush, some earplugs, lip balm, hand cream, and some toothpaste. Overall, not a bad stain-free haul. I opted to skip the dinner service on this flight since it was about 3 a.m. at this point and I was absolutely exhausted. I figured I would check out the in-flight entertainment at this point. I'm curious, have any of you been on any flights where the in-flight entertainment was notable or done especially well? I'm certainly grateful to have it, but I often find the same shows and movies in between carriers, and I typically just end up watching something on my iPad. Let me know of any especially good ones you all have seen. Having had enough TV for the moment, I put my bed into fully flat mode and decided it was time to get comfy. The blanket they provided was actually really warm and cozy, and believe it or not, stain-free. I'll be back as we land in Bogota, the capital city of Colombia. Good early morning in Colombia as we land at about 6 a.m. local time for our layover. Our next flight will be leaving in about an hour and a half to take us home to Washington, D.C. in the United States. Overall, I thought the experience on Avianca's lie-flat business class was just fine. Other than, of course, the disgusting seat, which maybe for a lot of people makes it unacceptable.
Welcome to Colombia's El Dorado Airport. We were a little worried because we only had about an hour and a half connection time, but we made it right through security in 20 minutes. I mean, we got plenty of time now, so morale back up.
Because we made it back through security so quickly, we had time to stop in Avianca's flagship lounge here since El Dorado is their hub airport. This lounge was certainly a step up from the lounge in Buenos Aires. I always appreciate a nice huge floor-to-ceiling glass window. There was ample seating available along with good, but I wouldn't say great, selection of hot and cold breakfast items. Although this ready-made omelet station was pretty neat.
Alrighty, welcome to the Avianca VIP Lounge at the Bogota El Dorado International Airport here in Colombia. I know, I'm just so VIP. Actually worked out perfectly because the lounge is right next to our gate. We were very worried about missing our connection because what else do you have to do on a 6-hour plane ride besides worry about missing your connection in the next country back to your home country? But everything's looking smooth so far. Excited to get on the next flight. We'll be flying an Airbus A320 all the way back to Washington, D.C.
Now, it was an extremely long walk from the Avianca lounge back to our gate, so as any good host and YouTuber would do, I put the video on 4x speed so that you wouldn't get bored and click away and oh, looks like we're here. I was just messing around. That was probably the shortest walk I've ever had from lounge to gate.
Hola.
Hola.
Adelante.
Gracias.
I have zero clue what the gate agent said to me because my Spanish consists of hola and gracias, but nobody stopped me as I attempted to board the plane, so it must not have been too bad.
No, that's my seat. Yeah. Yeah. Excuse me.
I didn't even look at the number.
No, that's okay.
I'm 2A.
I am 2K.
I'm 2A.
Oh yeah, that's over there.
The other side.
No,
Yeah.
no problem at all.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No, that's okay.
it's all right.
I will never understand how people just sit down in a seat on an airplane without looking at their seat number. But hey, I mean, at least she was nice about it. The business class in this Airbus A320 was set up in the European style, with business class essentially being economy seats with the middle seat blocked off. No complaints coming from me though, as after close inspection, this seat appeared to be stain-free. The seat itself was pretty standard with no frills, although it was pretty comfortable as far as airplane seats go. We were once again given water and a pillow and a blanket. Soon enough, we were pushing off out of Columbia for our 5-hour flight over to the District of Columbia. I'm not sure if this is a regular occurrence flying out of Bogota, but it felt like we stayed at a pretty low altitude for way longer than normal. Anyways, clearly it wasn't a problem since I'm still here making this video. Enjoy the music. Once we finally got up past 10,000 feet and were making our way to the Atlantic Ocean, the flight attendants got busy preparing breakfast for the business class cabin. Breakfast for me was a blueberry pancake, fruit, and some pastries. Safe to say, I loved it. My wife had the omelet and fruit, and she said it was good as well. There was also a snack basket available. Despite having no seatback entertainment, you were able to connect to the internet and watch shows and movies on your personal device. For me, that meant flight map on my phone and watching the islands go by out the window. We also got the exact same amenity kit as the flight before. After taking an accidental 2.5-hour nap, I woke up to our descent on the way into Washington, D.C. It always feels so good when you start to see some familiar landmarks on the way home after a trip.
service agents at the airport will assist you with everything you need.
And just like that, we were back in the US of A. After trying a new airline, I always ask myself if I would fly with that airline again. And usually the answer is yes. Despite any criticisms I may share in these videos, I'm generally pretty easygoing and it's difficult to get me to say I wouldn't fly an airline again. But I think I'm there with Avianca. Not because of anything that particularly bad happened, but they just happen to be worse than nearly every other airline I've flown. I know the lounge issues were not their fault, but they really got to clean the stains out of the business class seats that people literally lay on for hours. That's just gross. And then there were no real special redeeming qualities of the airline. So if I had the choice again, I think I'd choose something else. Thank you all so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you again in the next video.